Sleeping this way prevents. To prevent gravitational folds, elastic creases or feet, sleep face. Studies show sleeping on your stomach or side puts repeated pressure on your facial muscles, which leads to the breakdown of collagen. 2. This sleeping position is healthiest. Besides preventing wrinkles, sleeping on your back is also the healthiest way to snooze, experts say, because it allows your head, neck, and spine to rest in a neutral position. That prevents neck strain and an uneven distribution of weight that can lead to back pain. It's not popular, only 8% of us are back sleepers, but as the nearest millennial will tell you, the best things never are. 3. Falling asleep should take you 10 to 20 minutes. Experts say you should be cruising to dreamland within 10 to 20 minutes of your head pillow. If you fall asleep within 5 minutes, you're sleep deprived. If it takes more than 15 minutes, you could be suffering from insomnia. 4. Jerking awake is a real condition. Ever had that uncomfortable feeling when you're half asleep and suddenly you jolt awake? It's called a hypnagogic jerk, a harmless involuntary contraction of muscles. It could be accompanied by a sensation of falling. That certainly makes it uncomfortable, but it's a normal phenomenon. 70% of people have experienced at least one, and an unlucky 10% have it daily. 5. Sleeping this way improves orgasm. A study done at the University of Groningen in the Netherlands found that sleeping with your socks on can make it easier to reach orgasm. Researchers found that only 50% of female participants were able to have an orgasm after being given socks to wear, 80% did. The socks created feelings of comfort and calmed the amygdala and prefrontal cortex, the areas of the brain responsible for anxiety and fear, said study author Gert Holstage, MD, PhD. 6. Sleep cleans out your brain. During sleep, the body heals and recharges itself, particularly the brain, which flushes away toxins to prevent the buildup of plagues. Researchers believe this process lowers the risk of Alzheimer's and improves memory. A study published in the Journal of Neuroscience found that people who were taught specific finger movements, like hitting piano keys, were better able to recall them after 12 hours of rest. When you're asleep, it seems as though you are shifting memory to more efficient storage regions within the brain, said study author Matthew Walker, PhD, of the BIDMC Sleep and Neuroimaging Laboratory. 7. Tiredness peaks 2 times a day. The after-lunch slump is no myth, so you can stop guilting yourself about going crazy at the pizza buffet, although you probably should step away from the pizza buffet. Scientists have determined that tiredness peaks at 2 p.m. and 2 a.m. Human beings are biphasic, physically designed for 2 sleeps a day, with 2 major bodily rhythms, homeostatic sleep drive and circadian arousal, which pull us in different directions in terms of staying awake or sleeping, but they fascinatingly align in the middle of the day to create a nap zone, said Dr. Fiona Kerr, a neuroscientist at the University of Adelaide. 8. Being awake for this long is the same as being drunk. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, being awake for 18 hours is the same as having a blood alcohol level of 0.05%. The legal limit in most states is 0.08%. The remedy Rx, the CDC warns that drowsy driving can be as dangerous as drunk driving, and echoes experts who say adults should get at least 7 hours nightly. Adolescents should get 8. 9. The perfect nap lasts this long. On a scale of 1 to 10, the ideal nap is a 26 minutes long, that is. For years, experts advised that a short snooze of 20 to 30 minutes was optimal. Researchers at NASA recently pinpointed the ideal length, finding that pilots who slept in the cockpit for 26 minutes showed alertness improvement of up to 54% and job performance improvement by 34%, compared to pilots who didn't nap. Napping leads to improvements in mood, alertness, and performance such as reaction time, attention, and memory, said Kimberly Coate, PhD, professor of psychology and neuroscience at Brock University. Longer naps will allow you to enter deeper sleep, which will contribute to the grogginess also called sleep inertia experienced upon awakening and disrupt nighttime sleep. The remedy Rx, if you're old school, set your alarm for 26 minutes, or try a napping app that's targeted to that time, like Nap 26. 10. Being unable to get out of bed in the morning is a medical condition. If you're finding it especially difficult to part with your pillow in the morning, you could have a condition called dysania. According to the Cleveland Clinic, it can be caused by a nutritional deficiency, depression, or other issues. The remedy Rx, there's a difference between drowsiness and dysania. If you regularly can't get out of bed for 1 or 2 hours after you wake up, talk to your doctor about it. 11. You don't need less of it as you get older. Having trouble sleeping becomes increasingly common with age, but don't take it lying down, or pacing the floor. According to the National Sleep Foundation, adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night for optimum health. In older adults, insomnia isn't nature's way of telling us we need less sleep, it's often due to some other medical condition or discomfort that can be treated. The remedy Rx: if you're having difficulty getting to sleep or staying asleep, talk to your doctor. 12. Poor sleep can make you fat. Carrying around extra poundage. Poor sleep may be to blame. During sleep, our bodies release a hormone called leptin, which tells us we're full. At the same time, a hormone called ghrelin, aka the hunger hormone, is reduced. When we are sleep deprived, those hormones go out of whack, leptin declines and ghrelin rises, which can lead to overeating. The remedy Rx: eat a diet full of protein, healthy fats, and fiber, to prevent hunger pangs. A site like eatthis.com has food solutions that can help. 13. Oversleeping raises risk of this disease. Hate to break it to you, but you can, in fact, sleep too much. Multiple studies show that regularly getting more than 9 hours of sleep increases your risk of dementia. Research published in the journal Neurology found that risk to be nearly double. 14. If you want to get more sleep, move to this country. Sud Alors. In France, people sleep an average of 8.83 hours each day, the most in the developed world. Maybe it's all the cheese, which is packed with sleep-inducing tryptophan. The remedy Rx: if you can't expatriate, get your regular 7 to 9 hours right where you are. Remember that sleep isn't a waste of time, it's crucial to your health and longevity. 15. Snoring increases your risk of heart disease. Do you snore? Do you have to listen to it? You're not alone. 37 million Americans are affected by snoring on a regular basis, the National Sleep Foundation says. Your penchant for sawing logs could be the sign of a serious condition called sleep apnea, a breathing disorder that raises the risk of cardiovascular disease. The remedy Rx: if you're a regular snorer, see your doctor about it. 16. You might have social jet lag. Here's another reason to feel better about canceling those plans and staying in with Netflix. Social jet lag is what researchers call the pretty common phenomenon of going to bed later and sleeping in more on the weekends, and it's been connected to some scary health effects. According to a study conducted by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, each hour of social jet lag correlates to an 11% increased risk of heart disease. The remedy Rx: sleep regularity, beyond sleep duration alone, plays a significant role in our health, said study author Sierra Forbush, a research assistant in the Sleep and Health Research Program at the University of Arizona. This suggests that a regular sleep schedule may be an effective, relatively simple, and inexpensive preventative treatment for heart disease as well as many other health problems. 17. This is the most popular sleeping position. 47% of us sleep on our sides, in the fetal position. Unfortunately, according to the Cleveland Clinic, this is the Big Mac, the Whopper, the bloomin' onion of sleep health. Pick your metaphor for misbehavior. Sleeping on your side, while tucking the chin down, sets the neck forward in a potentially painful posture, says Andrew Bang, DC, of the Center for Integrative Medicine. The remedy Rx: it's best for your body to sleep on your back. But if you keep rolling back into the side sleeping habit, adopt this position. When you're standing with ideal posture looking at the horizon, your ear hole should line up with your shoulders, advises Bang. Try to keep that posture when you sleep. 18. Sleeping on your stomach isn't great for you either. Sleeping face down requires turning your head to the side, creating an unnatural neck twist and pressure. While this is good for easing snoring, it's bad for practically everything else, says the National Sleep Foundation. It can lead to back and neck pain, since it's hard to keep your spine in a neutral position. Plus, stomach sleepers put pressure on their muscles and joints, possibly leading to numbness, tingling, aches, and irritated nerves. The remedy Rx: it's best to try to choose another position, but if you must sleep on your stomach, try lying face down to keep upper airways open instead of with your head turned to one side with your forehead propped up on a pillow to allow room to breathe, the NSF advises. 19. This is the least popular sleeping position. The starfish is the least common sleep position on your back, hands above your turned head, legs spread, with only 6% of adults reporting that they repose this way. Good thing, it can be conducive to snoring. 20. These many people dream in black and white. According to the Cleveland Clinic, today 75% of people report dreaming in color, while 12% of people report dreaming in black and white. Why? Here's a hint: before the advent of color TV, only 15% of us dreamed in color. 21. You spend about 75% of the night in NREM sleep. Experts say we spend about 3/4 of each night in NREM, non-rapid eye movement, sleep. That's dreamless sleep, a lighter stage of sleep that increases as we age. Scientists aren't sure why. They do know that the remainder of our sleep, REM sleep, is when dreaming occurs. 22. Millennials are more likely to sleep in this position. According to the Better Sleep Council, millennials and Gen Zers are most likely to report sleeping in the free fall pose on the stomach, with legs and arms outstretched than baby boomers. The remedy RX: if you know a millennial, check in, make sure they're doing okay, and suggest they start sleeping on their back. 23. This type of dream could be a sign of dementia. Frequent violent nightmares could be a sign of RBD, REM sleep behavior disorder, which has been associated to neurological conditions. Researchers have found that 80% of RBD patients go on to develop neurological conditions such as Parkinson's disease and dementia. For some reason, the cells in the REM sleep area are the first to be sickened, and then the neurodegenerative disease spreads up into the brain and affects the other areas that cause disorders like Parkinson's disease, said John Pever, PhD, a neuroscientist at the University of Toronto who led the research. REM behavior disorder is, in fact, the best known predictor of the onset of Parkinson's disease. The remedy RX: if you're experiencing frequent violent nightmares, talk to your doctor. 24. Losing sleep lowers your pain threshold. People who have insomnia and other sleep problems seem to have an increased sensitivity to pain, according to a study published in the journal Pain. In January, researchers at the University of California, Berkeley affirmed that research and published a possible explanation in the Journal of Neuroscience: losing sleep seems to reduce dopamine in an area of the brain dedicated to pain response. Sleep loss not only amplifies the pain-sensing regions in the brain, but blocks the natural analgesia centers, too, said study senior author Matthew Walker, a UC Berkeley professor of neuroscience and psychology. 25. This kind of music helps you fall asleep better than others. Listening to music can slow your heart rate and breathing, lower your blood pressure and relax your muscles, all processes that can help you fall asleep. A study published in the Journal of Advanced Nursing found that people who listened to 45 minutes of classical music before bed reported better sleep quality than those who didn't. The remedy RX: choose music that averages 60 to 80 beats per minute, which you're most likely to find in classical or jazz. 26. Golfing, gardening or walking can help you sleep. A survey of 155,000 American adults asked participants if they had exercised at all in the past month, including low-intensity activities like golfing, gardening or walking. Those who had were 1/3 less likely to have sleep problems, and half as likely to experience daytime tiredness. The remedy RX: remember that getting some exercise is almost always better than getting no exercise at all. 27. Our circadian rhythm changes as we age. As we get older, our internal body clock shifts, making us tired earlier in the evening and wake up earlier in the morning. This can mislead us into thinking that we need less sleep. It isn't true. 7 to 9 hours are necessary for good health. The remedy RX: keep a steady sleep routine, go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. It's also a good idea to get outside and take a walk early in the day, advises the National Sleep Foundation. Aerobic activity and sunlight exposure can help put the brain and body in awake mode. 28. Eating this close to bedtime can harm your sleep. When you eat too soon before you hit the hay, the calorie jolt and energy boost can keep you up. So can acid reflux. Lying down can make stomach acid back up into your esophagus, causing painful heartburn. Eating late at night probably isn't great for your weight either, although the research isn't conclusive. The remedy RX: experts advise eating dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime. If you need a late night snack, have something light like rice cereal, bananas, and milk, which eat this, not that, says is the perfect bedtime food. 29. Exercise can help you sleep better. Add good sleep to the host of benefits you get from regular workouts. According to the National Sleep Foundation, even a single session of moderate intensity exercise, like walking, can help you fall asleep faster and have better sleep quality, even if you suffer from insomnia. The remedy RX: experts recommend 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise, or 75 minutes of high intensity exercise, such as running or swimming, each week to maintain heart health, ward off cancer and improve your sleep. 30. Sleep decreases inflammation. Sleep-deprived people have higher blood levels of stress hormones and substances that indicate inflammation, a key player in cardiovascular disease, says Dr. Susan Redline, a professor of sleep medicine at Harvard Medical School. Even a single night of insufficient sleep can perturb your system. The Remedy Rx, make sure your anti-inflammatory Mediterranean diet includes plenty of Z's. 31. Sleep lowers your risk of heart disease and stroke. People who don't sleep enough are at higher risk for cardiovascular disease and coronary heart disease regardless of age, weight, smoking, and exercise habits, says the National Sleep Foundation. Scientists aren't entirely sure why, but it's believed that not getting enough rest impairs body processes such as glucose, sugar, metabolism, raises blood pressure and increases inflammation. All three have been associated with cardiovascular disease. The Remedy Rx, to lower your risk of heart disease, follow a sensible diet, get regular exercise, don't smoke and consider getting 7 hours of sleep just as important. 32. Sleep affects your risk of diabetes. It's no coincidence that levels of type 2 diabetes have skyrocketed in the US while our average sleep time has declined. Although obesity is a major risk factor, several lines of evidence indicate that chronic lack of sleep may contribute to the risk of type 2 diabetes mellitus, said authors of a study published in the Cleveland Clinic Journal of Medicine. Adults are sleeping less and less in our society. Yet sleep is no longer thought of as strictly a restorative process for the body. The importance of sleep for metabolic function and specifically glucose homeostasis is now widely accepted. The Remedy Rx, adequate sleep and good sleep hygiene should be included among the goals of a healthy lifestyle, especially for patients with diabetes, say the researchers. We urge clinicians to recommend at least 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep per night as part of a healthy lifestyle. 33. You lost this much sleep thanks to your kids. Based on interviews with more than 4,000 parents, a new study printed in the journal Sleep found that parents of newborn babies face up to 6 years of sleep deprivation, 40 minutes per night for women, and 13 minutes nightly for men, in the first year after a baby's birth alone. The Remedy Rx, sleep deprivation can be physically and emotionally draining. Try not to worry about non-essential jobs around the house and accept help from family and friends when it's offered, says Kathy Finlay of the UK's National Childbirth Trust. If you're the parent, don't hesitate to ask for help. If you know new parents, don't hesitate to offer it. 34. And you can't catch up on it. Sorry, it's not possible to catch up on sleep. A January study published in the journal Current Biology echoed previous conclusions that extra weekend rest can't compensate for sleep lost during the week. The benefits of weekend recovery sleep are transient, said researchers. What's more, losing even 1 hour a night can land you in sleep debt, putting your health at risk. The Remedy Rx, don't make a full night's sleep a weekend thing. Get 7 to 9 hours nightly. 35. Sleep affects your social life. Sleep-deprived people are more likely to feel lonely and less social than people who are well rested, according to a study published in the journal Nature Communications. Researchers at the University of California, Berkeley also found that people who haven't slept enough may appear more socially unattractive to others, increasing their feelings of social isolation. It's perhaps no coincidence that the past few decades have seen a marked increase in loneliness and an equally dramatic decrease in sleep duration, says lead study author E.T.I. Ben Simon. Without sufficient sleep we become a social turn-off, and loneliness soon kicks in. The Remedy Rx, rethink sleep as a social activity. Just one night of good sleep makes you feel more outgoing and socially confident, and furthermore, will attract others to you, says Matthew Walker, professor of psychology and neuroscience at UC Berkeley and author of Why We Sleep. 36. Too little sleep can make you depressed. Insomnia and sleep problems are a classic symptom of depression, which particularly affects men and women in middle age. It can be part of a vicious cycle, not getting enough rest and worsen depression, and vice versa. The Remedy Rx, if you're experiencing sleep trouble, don't just pop sleeping pills, see another reason why at number 38, talk to your doctor about your emotional state as well. 37. Sleep improves your immune system. If you're sleep deprived, it can decrease your ability to fight infection, says Rachel Salas, MD, an associate professor of neurology at Johns Hopkins Medicine. Here's why: during sleep, the immune system releases proteins called cytokines, which help fight infections and inflammation and ease stress. Sleep deprivation means fewer protective cytokines are produced, along with other infection-quashing antibodies and cells. 38. Sleeping pills have been linked to cancer. Studies have linked the use of hypnotic, sleep-inducing, drugs with an increased risk of cancer and death by any cause. Researchers aren't sure why that may be, but why risk it? The remedy Rx. There are many strategies you can follow before requesting a prescription, including meditation, relaxation, and avoiding screens. Talk to your doctor. 39. You should wash and replace your pillow this often. Your pillow should be washed every 6 months and replaced every year or 2, says the National Sleep Foundation. The reason to wash: dust mites. They can worsen allergies and asthma, impairing your breathing and worsening your sleep. The reason to replace: feathers go flat, and foam degrades with age. Over half of us experience neck pain as we get older, which could be alleviated by purchasing a pillow that properly cradles your head and neck. The remedy Rx. Both down and foam pillows can be washed in a regular washing machine. Put them in a separate load and make sure they dry completely so they don't develop mold. Throw some tennis balls or dryer balls in the dryer to help. 40. Sleeping with a pet might worsen your sleep. According to a study by the Mayo Clinic Sleep Disorders Center, 53% of people who sleep with their pets have disturbed rest and abnormal sleep patterns, either because of the pet's movement or the space they occupy in bed.